Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another Battle for Azeroth video. If you don't know me, my name is Michael Hogman, and today we're gonna be talking about something a little bit more general, something that's really been on my mind for the last few days that I've been playing the Battle for Azeroth Alpha. I've been testing a lot of different classes, and I know that I'm not the only one, obviously, that's testing. I've seen a ton of different videos. I've watched all sorts of different alpha videos from other creators, getting their opinion on what they feel is important throughout the alpha. And in this video, I want to specifically talk about the classes. Okay, the classes have been something that a lot of people have really been talking about, and I feel like there's something that needs to be said regarding the classes moving from Legion into Battle for Azeroth. Okay, so if you guys don't already know, the artifact weapons from Legion are not going to be making it into Battle for Azeroth. All right, so you are retiring that really powerful weapon that you've used to defeat the Legion, and moving forward, you're not going to have that system, that artifact system, any longer. It's going to be gone. Okay. With all that being said, this like artifact system we knew was not going to be making it into future expansions. Like they've said that, the developers have said that forever, and that's not the problem. I don't mind, and I do not I have no issue with like not having that weapon. In fact, I prefer to not like have a one weapon per expansion. Like I thought it was kind of boring to never get a new weapon. Getting new weapons in World of Warcraft from the very beginning was always a very exciting thing, and it also added a lot of diversity to the gameplay. So having all of one weapon to play throughout Legion really didn't really do a whole lot for me. But the system within the weapon, the progression system, the trait system, the ability that came with the weapon was a really big deal to me. Okay, so throughout playing Battle for Azeroth, and this is the main topic of the video, throughout playing Battle for Azeroth Alpha, I've noticed on every single class, there has been a huge difference between having that artifact ability and not. And I would say most of the cases for most of the classes, it's a very negative feeling when you lose that ability. Blizzard has done a really great job of adding abilities back into the game that were lost in previous expansions due to pruning or whatever design philosophies they felt were correct for their game at the time, like removing like arcane intellect. That's now back in Battle for Azeroth, as you can see. This is the same with a lot of different abilities that grow throughout other classes, like Power Word Fortitude is back, Battle Shout is back for warriors, Life Grip is back for shadow priests, Trank Shot is back for hunters. A lot of those abilities that people missed have now returned. But the problem is that along that same line of thinking, where people are very excited that those abilities are back, we also kind of get this slap in the face with the fact that one of our most favorite abilities from each one of the classes that we play are gone. And I want to be positive about this. Like, I want to move forward and be like, you know what, it's not a big deal that we lost the artifact weapons. It's cool that we don't have them anymore and that we get to experience the new diversified weapons. And it's nice that Blizzard has worked in some of these artifact abilities and traits into your actual baseline class spec. All right, but at the same time, like when, your Fire Mage, for example, and your artifact weapon is built into a tier, like for example here, I'll show you the Fire spec real quick. When your artifact ability, Phoenix Flames, is actually built into a tier of your talents, that basically means the other two talents are no longer available to you. Like you can't really use this over Phoenix Flames because of how good that artifact ability was. And having it kind of, sometimes built in, like Balanced Druids didn't even get their new moon, half moon, full moon rotation anymore. And that was one of the most iconic spells in Legion, in my opinion. Like having to deal with a moonkin using full moon in arena, like you had to like keep that in your mind. Like there's so many abilities that are lost in Battle for Azeroth through the artifact system that you had in Legion, and it really like made the class a lot different. Imagine if Fire Mages didn't even have Phoenix Flames anymore. Like I know they do, and that's great that they built it in, but I'm telling you this because there are a lot of classes that had very iconic abilities that made their class very fun. And that's not in the game anymore. And I think that that's a really depressing and negative thing about this upcoming expansion. And I'm talking about this now because I hope that Blizzard sees the feedback that's coming from the community in this regard, it extends past just the abilities in Battle for Azeroth from the artifacts that didn't make it in. It's also the traits. There's a lot of things about Fire Mage that I thought was a really big deal. Even small things like physical damage reduction on Blazing Barrier as a Fire Mage in high level Mythic Plus, that mattered, and that's no longer in the game. I'm using Mage because that's the most familiar class to me, but there's a lot of classes out there that don't have certain traits that were a really big deal, and they're just not built into the class design. And same goes with the abilities, guys. Like, a lot of these abilities, they're just gone. And when they're somehow baked into the talent system, using those talents and those abilities, like, you can't even compete. Like, I'll probably never choose Alex Ross's Fury or Flame On, whereas Flame On was like a must-have in Fire Mage for Legion. But since Phoenix Flames is on this tier, there's no way I'm going to be choosing the other ones. And I just feel like the solution to this is very, simple. I feel like you should harness the power of your artifact weapon and continue on with the expansion having that artifact ability. Okay? And the reason for this is because losing that artifact ability really puts a bad taste in my mouth for a lot of classes that I'm playing. I loved having the Fury of the Illidari on my Havoc Demon Hunter. I thought playing Chaos Nova into Fury of the Illidari or stunning a target and using that was a cool mechanic, and the fact that I don't have that makes me feel like I'm being pruned again. And that's a really big deal to me. Not only that, but I also feel like throughout pretty much every expansion that I've played, not talking about Warlords of Draenor, whenever I logged on a beta for the first time, or I logged on an expansion for the first time, and I had to level from, say, 110 to 120, one of my favorite parts about doing that was the fact that I actually got new abilities that were brand new to the game per expansion. And if we are now playing Warcraft in a way that the only thing you're progressing when you level up your character is merely the storyline, like, when you hit max level, it's the same stuff. Like, you do a raid, it's a new raid. I don't necessarily see why it's an expansion if you're not getting new things for your character. And in fact, you're losing things for your character. Like, you're losing abilities that meant something to you, and you're also not really gaining any new abilities. That's a really big problem in my eyes. I know that this video has been a big rant, but like, it's honest, like, feelings about this expansion is that, like, we're not gaining new abilities that I can see from level 110 to 120 as you level up. And that was such a cool thing. I remember getting like time warp for the first time when I played Mist of Pandaria as I was leveling up as a mage, and like, you don't really get that anymore. And I feel like that's just a really big part of the game and a part of experiencing a new expansion and getting hyped for a new expansion. That's something I don't really see anymore. And I would like to. So I don't know what the answer is for this. I hope that the artifact abilities that are so important to classes like New Moon, for example, Kingsbane for Assassination Rogues, like, I hope that those abilities become baseline. I hope that they're not just left in the dust with Legion and artifact weapons. And I hope that people like really speak out about this, because the game it feels incomplete without those after playing Legion, just in my opinion. I know sometimes you get those artifact abilities and it really doesn't matter for your class, but I don't know. I want Battle for Azeroth to be good. I do. I want people to enjoy the expansion. I want people to enjoy the classes that they're playing, and I want people that have played a class for a long time to log on Battle for Azeroth for the first time and feel good about it, and feel like they're progressing their character, and feel like they're getting more powerful, and feel like there's more options for them to play as opposed to less. And that's just my opinion, guys. So thank you very much for watching today's video. I know that this was a little bit of a negative one, but it's something that I really wanted to talk about because a lot of creators out there aren't, and I think it's necessary to. And I wanted to share my opinion on it. So, I appreciate you guys watching. Be sure to hit thumbs up on this video if you liked it, if you agree with my opinion. If you don't, hit a dislike, whatever. You can also leave a comment down below. Tell me your thoughts. I want to know what you guys have to say on this matter, because I feel like it's extremely relevant to all of the content that's been going out on Battle for Azeroth. And I hope that moving forward in the alpha, since we are in the early stages, I hope that Blizzard does take this feedback. And here's the feedback from everybody who is watching and reacting to this video. I hope that Blizzard does take the time to rethink their philosophy moving forward into Battle for Azeroth in terms of class design and in terms of ability design. And I hope that that is taken forward and has action, really like put forward on these classes. That's just my opinion. But thank you guys for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't. Keep up to date with Battle for Azeroth videos. I'll continue doing all the stuff that I've been doing, but just wanted to stop and do something new for today and talk about something that was important to me. So thanks, guys. Have a great day.